When I was younger, I captured my first ever shiny in Pokemon Y. I was on Route 8, Morale Coast, and while trying out the good rod, I found a shiny Skrelp. That feeling of discovering and capturing a rare Pokemon has stuck with me my entire life, and I know it's resonated with enough people to create an entire community around these alternate colors. Nowadays, while I'm no stranger to shiny hunting, I always felt like I missed the window to shiny hunt on the older games, and thought it was finally time to get that experience. I'm Nolan, and today I'm going back to original hardware and shiny hunting on Pokemon Leaf Green. Although I grew up on Nintendo stuff, I have no idea where my Game Boy went, and the only Pokemon games I ever played were Pearl and Y. For a long time, I was under the impression that Pokemon was childish and pushed away any desire to play these games to try to fit in, which unfortunately leaves me with a pretty weak collection to begin my shiny hunt. But on a trip to my hometown, I stopped by a used game store and found an authentic Leaf Green for only $80. Which, if you didn't know how expensive these things get, this is unfortunately a really good price. So with Leaf Green and a not so good condition Game Boy I found at Goodwill, I was ready to begin my first hunt, a shiny starter. I started my file, and after getting a pretty nice trainer ID, I went to Oak's lab. In this game, it does not display if the Pokemon is shiny when you preview them, meaning you have to pick the one you want, let the rival pick his, and then go into your inventory and check the Pokemon manually to see if it's shiny. Only then do you get to do your reset. I'll be going for Bulbasaur, as it's my favorite of the first generation, and it would feel wrong to start this file with anything else. The first thing I noticed while doing this hunt was how unbelievably comfortable hunting on the GBA was in comparison to something like the Switch. I was hunting in the car, at the doctor, at the store, and in bed. It never felt like it needed that much of my attention. I've been hunting this for 1,340 encounters. These things are awesome. I don't know why I ever stopped using Game Boys. Also, I've just recently figured out that if you hit these buttons and these buttons at the same time, like this, it just resets the freaking ROM. I've been torturing it. I've been attacking it, practically. I also noticed how absolutely awful this screen is. I don't know how people defend this thing. It's a front-lit screen that's difficult to see in most conditions, and I'm trying to look for a subtle color difference. It was slowly driving me mad, and this was enough to pique my interest into Game Boy modding. After doing some research, the best modern screens to put in this thing is an IPS version 5, a fully fledged modern screen built with color settings, brightness, and filters. But when I asked Absol Blogs about this, a YouTuber who shiny hunts like he's playing the piano, he recommended that I look into something else. Back when they released the Game Boy SP, they quietly put out 3 versions over the GBA's life. To my knowledge, all of them had the same advertising, boasting a rechargeable battery and a light-up screen, which was a huge deal at the time.
New Game Boy Advance SP, featuring a luminous screen, so you can even play in the dark.
But what many people don't know is the third iteration of the Game Boy, named the AGS 101, had been upgraded with an extremely polished backlit screen. This screen looks genuinely modern, and the colors and pixels are extremely true to the original Game Boy. So when deciding to mod my original model, putting in that screen was the obvious choice. So first things first was to get a new shell. Since my Game Boy wasn't in great condition, I wanted it to at least feel clean in my hands. After looking around, I found a few options to give my Game Boy a new coat of paint, and I was even able to secure a second Game Boy to improve as well. I was really impressed with the extreme rate quality, and I would majorly recommend their stuff if you're into this sort of thing. This shell literally feels soft to touch like velvet and is my favorite to play on the go. This yellow one sucks. I replace it later, it's cheap, don't get this one. When it was time to order the screens, I decided to get both an IPS and an AGS screen to have a proper comparison. It was then that I discovered that the original model can't support the backlit screen without doing, well, this.
I'm with the science team.
This all looks nominal.
No.
Big day today, Freeman. As I expected.
So after pledging to find a backlit Game Boy one day, I decided to order 2 IPS screens after all. While I waited for them to arrive, I found my first huge find of the hunt, a Fire Red. Ever since I started the hunt, I would go on many second-hand websites and look for the games I was missing. These sites are filled to the brim with fake repos, overpriced garbage, full-on scams, but occasionally a phenomenal deal. I negotiated this Fire Red after meeting the dude in person for about $20. I actually think that he thought that this was a repo, which is like a fake version of the original game that's not as reliable. Since the board that this cartridge uses is, for one, less common, and for two, what repos usually try to mimic, he even admitted to me after I questioned it that it might not be real, and let me lower the price way down. But guess what? This is real, and this is why you don't try to scam people. With Fire Red, I was able to start double hunting, and was going for a Charmander in my free time. I now understand the piano technique. Once the screens finally came in, I put them in the Game Boy with my buddy Matt's help.
So the IPS screen is currently in, and I got that ribbon cable. It's got a touch sensor that I suspect is going to ruin my life, but you know, that's tomorrow's problem. And now all I gotta do is solder from here to here, a little wire, and I'm terrified, so I'm getting Matt to do it.
I really love how the IPS mods both feel and look, and I'm really partial to the retro display setting because it just looks a little bit more accurate to the actual Game Boy. Shortly after finishing these, I was actually able to track down a few more games. I was able to find a second Fire Red for $40 and a loose Pokemon Black 2 and a in-box Heart Gold for $200 total. These games are worth way more, but this time the people who sold it to me absolutely knew this. They seemed like they were actually looking to sell them for a fair price, specifically looking for someone who would cherish the games just as much as they did when they were a kid. Being able to find these games for a reasonable price was honestly invigorating. It felt as much a hunt for a decent deal as it was a hunt for shiny Bulbasaur. And on July 21st, this happened. I got it! I got the shiny Bulbasaur on original hardware! And it is Lonely Nature, a male lonely boy. Oh my goodness. Oh wow, that felt crazy. I got it in 3,923 encounters. I did a little bit of hunting for Charmander on this one, but I only got to like 900. So I did a little over 4,000 encounters total. I got it under odds, which I am very happy about because this is a very, very, very slow hunt. I was playing Terraria, fishing with my girl Abigail. Shout outs to Abigail. Now I actually get to play the game. I get to play the video game now. Let's get into a battle. Let's take out this shiny. Oh, I'm so excited. There he is. There's Matt. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, I'm so happy I can finally save my game and stop playing. Am I gonna die? If he crits, I will. Oh no, we good. See you later, Charmander. And I will save. Look at that! I got it! I'm not going to be able to name him due to the nature of this hunt, but once I make my way to Lavender Town, I'll get an opportunity to. So if you have a suggestion for this green boy's nickname, please leave it in the comments. After fighting my rival, I was finally able to be free of Oak's lab and play the actual game, planning to defeat the first gym with only my starter. So I got my Pokedex and Pokeballs and made my way to the first town. Something I didn't know about this game is there's actually a second rival fight near Victory Road. I was super not ready for it, only with my level 7 Bulbasaur, but I actually managed to clutch it out with a strategic Leech Seed. After that, I made my way through Viridian Forest, and to the rock-hard man himself, Brock. I wonder if I'm gonna have any trouble here today with my shiny Bulbasaur. Use Vine Whip. Wow, type advantages. Level 16. It's almost like I planned this. Oh, he got in a quick tackle. Good fight. Good fight. Who would win, Brock or one green boy? We got the Boulder Badge. Oh, this is the actual part I'm excited about. Whoa, that looks insane on the camera. Whoa! Wow, that is a great looking shiny. With the Boulder Badge acquired, I've actually decided to turn this file into a badge quest, meaning I get a full odd shiny before every badge and only use shiny Pokemon. Although I'll still be catching Pokemon for Dex Progress and HMs. I want that XP share. But this has been way too fun to just put down. After beating Brock, I finally got my hands on an AGS 101 that's working, and I plan to clean it up and reshell it proper and make it my main GBA. If there's one thing about this hobby that's honestly quite affordable, it's getting the hardware. But it's really unfortunate that there's so much preventing people to start hunting like this. These games simply wouldn't be worth the inflated prices if not due to scalpers. In fact, these prices absolutely skyrocketed in the last 4 years, with no signs of slowing despite the games being unbelievably common. Just look at Emerald. I have no idea how I'm gonna get my hands on this one. Don't give these scalpers what they want. If you're patient, you can find someone who will sell these games to you for what they're actually worth. Someone who wants their childhood game to be enjoyed and not resold at unfair prices. And if you want to be a shiny hunter, being patient should never be a problem for you. So before you hunt the Pokemon, hunt the games. Thanks for watching.